Vautrot. They call me JV around here, and we are very fortunate to have with us a woman who is no stranger to Brevard County. She grew up here, and her name is Lydia Joyner. Now, Lydia Joyner has written a little book, and it's called Little Wild Thang. Now, Lydia actually kind of grew up in foster care, did you not, Lydia?
Yes, I did. Here in Brevard County, I was born and raised here.
And what is this book all about?
Well, Little Wild Thing is, it started out where I was speaking about my story and inspiring people to bring change, but not a lot of people actually understand what was actually happening in the foster care system. So as I grew up, I moved to New York City and was asked by Lance Wheeler at Columbia University to do an experience called My Sky is Falling, where we put people through an experience by locking them up and, tearing them apart and taking their kids' pictures out of their wallets. And at the end, I had all my foster care files on the ground, and as they picked them up, they were just, wow. I didn't realize that, kids have statistics of being homeless and uneducated and having no support. And I just thought I have to do something with my files. So it's a 3-part diary. This is part 1, and I used my foster care files to tell the story through chronological sense, but it's filled with my own diary entries, what happened during pop culture during that time, like when the Challenger exploded, and the music I was listening to, the things that got me through. So it's really an account of the first book in history that's ever exposed foster care files and also told a foster child's story through their point of view together, collaborated together.
Wow, this is pretty interesting. This is actually a pretty good sized book, and I understand it's for sale, so to speak, and that you're actually here signing books in downtown Melbourne. Is that correct?
That is correct. I'm going to be at the Chandlery in downtown Melbourne. It's a couple stores right of Mega Mally's, and I will be there from 6 to 9 tonight during the Friday Fests, and you can buy a book, you can sign, come and meet me.
Well, I'm looking at the book now, and it really does seem to be quite inclusive. I mean, you've got copies of memorandums of conversations and subpoena ducas tecums
and friends that I met along the way. And I think it's all about that, just really being a part of one another and helping people.
Well, there's an awful lot of good foster care, but there's an awful lot of twists and turns for anyone, I guess, involved in that. We have been involved with a number of child abuse prevention agencies and things of that nature. Of course, you've had more than your share of that, which you can get all the information about if you read the book, The Little Wild Thang by Lydia Joyner. And again, she will be at the Chandlery in downtown Melbourne this evening, and she'll be signing books and hopefully selling a couple, because I'll tell you, I've just started to look at it. She just handed me a copy of it. And this is really interesting. It's got all kinds of actually detailed information from her actual files. And this is really kind of a guide to what it's like growing up in foster care. In some foster care, you do really well. In some foster care, it's not so much. So, at any rate, we are very happy that you have made the transition nicely, and that you have actually produced this book. Was this a dream of yours or something to produce this or to help others?
Yes, it absolutely is a dream come true. I really feel like my mission in this life was to fulfill this book and go from book to film. I really wanted to, for our youth and for the community to see that you can be born into a situation that's not so great and go through hell on earth and still turn out to be a wonderful human being that gives back to the community themselves. So that's why I did it, and you can go to littlewildthang.com, THANG, not THING, and littlewildthang.com has, my book. You can buy it there, and I'd love to have some support. So. Well,
that's it. Little Wild Thang, THANG, littlewildthang.com, and you can actually purchase the book. I can tell you, it really is a very interesting story. Did you mention something about the fact that you actually have your own information in here?
Yeah, it's, everything in my diaries from the time I was a little girl. My mother had paranoid schizophrenia. That's why I was taken away from her. And I really wanted a story about a little girl that fights to be reunited with their mother. And, the community didn't know much about mental illness back in the day. So this is really my account of my life in Brevard County. And I really just, wanted to share it with everybody to let them know that this could happen in your backyard. I was, your neighbor.
Well, thank you very much, Lydia Joyner, for joining us today. And that's Joyner and join us. But we really appreciate having the chance to take a look at the book and take a look at the whole foster care system and how it affected you in your life. So I will just say thank you for joining us, and we're going to be going out right about now. So the information overload is over.